our story. The Hindu Lit for Life 2025. The Japanese invasion of Madras that never happened but led to exodus. Mukund Padmanabham and Manu Pillai discuss how Japan act of bombing the eastern coast of British India led to chaos and confusion in 1942, an exodus triggered by an unreal fear, a non-event that led to many bizarre historical events, a rare incident that went large undocumented. Mukund Padmanabham book The Great Flood of 1942 is all this and more. Author and former editor of The Hindu, Mukund Padmanabhan, in an engaging conversation with historian Manu Pillai at The Hindu Lit for Life 2025, elaborated on a latent piece of history that caught his fascination so much that he decided to write a book about it titled the same. What exactly was this non event that actual caused so many events to take place after? Asked Manu Pillai in an attempt to set context to the conversation that hinged on how the British Raj panicked simply over the suggestion of Japanese invasions in 1942. When the Japanese came close, they sent aircraft carriers to the Indian Ocean. They bombed Vishakhapatnam and Kalki Kankinada, Kakinanda, but they never had any intention of invading India. In the book, I argue that the British took measures that actually shocked a great sense of panic and people fled from all over the country. I don't think many people know that almost 90% of Madras could have fled. The story was also largely undocumented, said Mr. Padmanabham. This fear, he believed, shaped the course of nationalist movement, and the author called for the examination of some of the major events of 1942. The Cripps mission and Gandhiji's calls for the Quit India movement. In the context of this fear, Exodus has its own dynamic. The more people leave, the more leave. Reminded Mr. Padmanabhan, everyone's lives changed. The flap impacted people in different ways, but what fascinated me was why did so many people flee so many parts of the India, like coastal Odisha, coastal Tamil Nadu, for an invasion that was never even planned. added Padmanabham, whose focus reminded the dystopian fertility of such an event in history. Why does such stories exist only in families within their silences and memories? Asked Mr. Pillai. One of the reasons is that traditionally historians have focused on the freedom movement, said Mr. Padmanabham. This story slipped between the cracks. No one was paying attention to this, and finally, it was a non event. The other thing is that if 75 to 90% of Madras was evacuated, you would imagine that the newspapers of the times would have photographs or long reports. But there was very little human interested stories at the time, said Mr. Padmanabhan. Communication with the governors and private diaries of bureaucrats at the time served as references. The British treated this in a very cynical and cold way. In a rather managerially manner, added Mr. Padmanabhanam. For them, the exodus also was convenient in being less people to manage in the event of a Japanese invasion. Mr. Pillai quipped in. The only reference that I have for my own time is that of COVID. I remember the initial days with the streets being empty. I can almost visualize it and compare it with the COVID period. How does one evacuate a city? In response to this, Mr. Padmanabhan recalled an expert excerpt from the book that charts events that eventually led to the shouting of animals in the Madras Zoo. Mr. Pillai pointed to a line in the book that struck him. 12 Harbour was insurance and Southeast Asia was the prize. Through this book, you have highlighted what's happening in Asia with the Japanese and the spread of the Japanese conscripts, and it really alerts the way in which we look at the war itself, said Mr. Pillai. The historian pointed to another aspect of the book that looks at how the potentially threat of a Japanese invasion destabilizing the British empowered the nationalist movement. Nehru and Rajgopalachari were on their side. Gandhiji, however, thought any support of the war would compromise his position on pacifism. He actually refuses to meet Cripps, recalled Mr. Padmanabhan. The Dew also briefly touched upon Gandhi's position on the Japanese. There is some evidence that suggests that he believed that the Japanese would win the war. Gandhi, as Nehru suggests in the discovery of India, did not have an ideological worldview as Nehru did. For him, an exploiter is an exploiter, said Mr. Padmanabhan, adding Gandhi's shifts in positions during 1942 certainly merit a greater inquiry. The season closed with questions from the audience that touched upon the importance of narrative history writing. Is there a revival in history writing in India today? Mr. Pillai said, I think as time passes, we move out of big events and look at smaller stories. There's so much to chew on these smaller stories. You find interesting characters, dynamics. We don't sometimes realize the layers of stories and the kind of material we have in this country. More and more people are now investigating these less told chapters in our history that leads to a renewed interest. The Hindu Lit for Life event is presented by Kia India and is an association with Christ University. Associated partners LICRR Donnelly Blue Star based group NITI deemed to be university pro and that you will be this story like and comment on in this sections. Thanks for watching.